Happy Saturday, Curvies, and welcome back to Larger Curves. I hope you're having an excellent day. I hope you smash the like button and smash the subscribe button on your way in. If you haven't already, go ahead and ring my bell so you can get notified next time I upload a video. Yeah. Amy Wheeler, thanks for coming through. Hey. Dion says whatever. Thanks for coming through. Thanks for coming through. It's so nice for both of you to come through here. Now, look, I'm going to turn down my music because I know how the people get. But I'll just like it to play during that intro part, especially. So, today we're going to talk about Real Housewives of Miami because I've been liking the season. I like the season a lot. And I haven't talked about it yet. And we might have a guest come through and talk about it too. So I already have the link dropped for anyone who actually wants to come up and share their point of view. In the meantime, we could do that. But look, I want to share something with you before my guest comes. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and present. So you guys know who Keith Lee is? The food critic. And he goes across the nation helping small restaurants get big. Have you guys heard of him? Well, I have. And let's cancel that. Go here. And he had went to Oakland, my hometown, recently and left and didn't even finish his food tour. He usually goes to like 3 of each restaurant. He made it to I think he made it to 3 or 6 restaurants. He didn't make it to 12. And he was like, I had to cut it short. And he left after he had to go stop for EpiPen, y'all. So there's that. And then, let me favorite this. And then he went home for a bit because he travels and does this with his family. So then he went to Texas, Dallas, Texas. He announced he was going down and he went on down there and it was going really good. He was giving out 8.5s from the first moment he got there. And 8.5s are hard to come by, all right? And so he got this one truck, a food truck, had asked for his help. He was like, the son of the food truck owner had reached out. So anyway, Keith Lee ended up stopping by and he gave them a $5,000 tip with very explicit directions. And it all went downhill from there. So let's listen real quick. Let me see. Presenting. Girl, I didn't know. Damn, Shay Prado again. Yes, the lady was wrong, right? Oh my God. Hey, Sarah. Thanks for coming through. Right on. I appreciate that. For your thing later. I heard that. I heard that. I have a thing later too at 4 o'clock my time. So I wanted to come on here in the meantime. Feel every moment of every day. Oh, shout out to Candace Dillard Bassett. Baby Hands has lost his fight. The $2 defamation lawsuit finished. It was dismissed. So if things are dismissed, does that mean they're responsible for their own legal fees? Because it wasn't like he was found, I don't know, however that goes. But what Candace told people was, I'm incredibly grateful to God for protecting me. I'm also grateful for common sense, the support of my family, and my incredible legal team for helping the plaintiff to get exactly what he deserves from me. Absolutely nothing. Go, Candace. Hey. I guess, what's her name? Ashley's going to have to pay for her house herself now. So here's how the story starts. Make sure we can hear all this. Turn this way up.
And his first stop was a food truck. I wish this was a good story, but unfortunately, it's not. He goes by the name of Sydney Susan. Now, you may not be familiar
Shout
with
out to
Susan,
No
but you are
Bystanders on
familiar with
Instagram.
Justin's son and friend. Our son happens to be Trey, and Trey's friend happened to be Will Hodges. probably remember Terrell and Trey from the Ashley Grayson story. This is some digital online marketer who found out that she was scamming her clients, and Terrell and Trey told the story. And then Ashley and her husband did a murder for club, and what's going on? This is the story. These are the people who keep these food trucks, specifically Trey's mom's food truck, had visited.
Keith Lee is officially in Dallas. So I asked him for help and come to visit my mom's food truck to hopefully turn it around. She is an award-winning pastry chef. She is a culinary chef. She has 2 degrees. We are just from Milwaukee, and here in Dallas, it's kind of hard with the market because we don't know our way even around it.
Oh, here, I got it. Or try it. Everybody.
Find out food, and of course, she loved it, and she wanted to meet the owner herself. That was not why, and took some pictures with Terrell because she was working the cash register at the food truck. Here's what the story gets really, really, really bad. Really bad. Really bad, really bad.
On top of him tipping $4,000, this man left an extra $886 to feed everybody else that was coming, right? Right. This is what she went wrong. I'm in the truck, mind you. I'm a worker. This is no business. So I'm doing what you say. She tell me after this person, which is the third person, that you got to start charging again. Got personal when you stay with my baby brother. So everything was cool, calm, and collect, right? She told me, she said, look, I just want to let you know it'll be about a day or two before you guys get your money. I work with Square. I've been running my business for the past 4 years with Square, so I know exactly how it works. So I hit her this morning, was like, Kim, you have workers today? Also, there's a guy who's wanted to do your menu and fire script, so I'm sitting with your number. Who is this? Sherelle. Yes, I have workers for today, and you can send me his info. Thank you. That was it. So I respond back. I will send you his Instagram, and did you see if your money cleared? You can keep the money that was left for me, but my brother is preparing to leave and go back home, and I'm unsure how he'll get it once he leaves. Granted, all I had to do was send it to her, or she could have sent it to her, whatever. She said, please call me back so an agreement can be made. But before we even got to those messages, she called me, and she was just like, well, I didn't invite your brother to come out there and cut hair. I didn't invite you. My son invited you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give $1,000 to my son, and he'll give y'all whatever it is he see fit out of it.
Now, herein lies the problem. Keith Lee allowed them to charge his card about $5,200, according to Sherelle. A portion of that money was supposed to be used to feed any patron who was going to come and order food from the food truck, which would have left about $4,000. Now, according to Sherelle and Keith Lee himself, $1,000 of that dollars was supposed to go to Sherelle's brother, who happened to be cutting hair right outside the food truck. Another $1,000 was supposed to be left to somebody who also was there, who was happened to be braiding hair, which would have left the owner of this food truck about $2,000, and that's according to Keith Lee. But you heard Sherelle's story. The owner refused to give the money back, and that's not just from Sherelle. Over on Instagram, the owner even said the same thing. Somebody says, "Why didn't you pay everyone like he asked?" Meaning Keith Lee. The owner stated, "The only person who is a part of this business is my son, and he will be paid. What he has going on with his friends has nothing to do with me, my business. Thank you for your support." When I read that, I was flabbergasted. I was flabbergasted because that's not what Keith Lee said. Now, when Sherelle posted her video, her friend Trey, or ex-friend, I think, who is the son of the food truck owner, said this. He said, "I asked your brother to come and cut for free, basically cut hair for free. He said, I'll give him $1,000. He said he couldn't tell that part. He goes on to say, I literally said, I will still give the $1,000 out of my own pocket just so it wouldn't explode on the internet for views. And that wasn't good enough." Now, Sherelle commented below and says, "Nope, because I've watched for over a year, cover everything foul your mom does. She just happens to hit close to home." And then she goes on to say that she doesn't get away scot-free with me. Now, I really hate that this is the first leg of this tour in Texas. Like, but I'm going to tag everybody below, and you can follow up on their stories. And if I see anything else, I'll keep you guys posted.
Okay, so as if that wasn't bad enough, you guys have the premise. Keith Lee, traveling food critic. He makes people go from zero to hero in no time flat. He can go to some place that was struggling, and they will be lines outside the door for months after he leaves, changing the trajectory of their businesses. Okay, so that happened. Then after that happened, the lady who owned the truck had something to say. She has a now deleted post.
She decided not to follow their instructions of God's disciple, and now
She has a now deleted post where she doubled down on why she did what she did.
Sweetly Season is a food truck in Texas.
And she said it. I was going to show you guys. I was like, oh, she had the nerve to leave it. By the time I got back, it was gone.
I want to give $1,000 to the barber so that he can cut hair for free. He wanted to give $1,000 to the person doing braids. Then he wanted to give $2,000 to the owner of said food truck decided she wasn't doing none of that because the hair braider nor the barber were associated with her business, and she felt that the $4,000 was supposed to go to her business. Please note that Keith also left money to pay for Patreons thereafter, and after she served free plates, she shut it down, pocketing everything that was gifted to her. I'm scared. I would not want to be standing next to this lady during the thunderstorm. The part that got me in her little response video when she was starting to cry, and she said that she knows that she listens to God, and God told her to go to school 2 times to get those culinary degrees that she owns. I don't know if she stopped listening to him thereafter once the blessing started to flow, but I do know that she wasn't operating in her listening ears. Where the lady is losing the battle is she on the internet telling us to go back and read the words, okay? And we're reading them, and ma'am, you are wrong. Sherelle even told you could keep $1,000 for her. Just give the barber, meaning that you could pocket the $3,000 plus the money that Keith Lee left to pay for the food after you shut the business down, after you paid for 3 plates. You could have kept all of that, right? Just run $1,000. What would be the loss? Only wants to talk about how, oh yes, Sherelle did some marketing, but nobody asked her. That wasn't her job. And again, I remind you that Keith Lee did not say give them people that money because they work with you. He said give you money. Sweetly Seasoned drinking out of Keith Lee effect for $3,000. Why you decided not to follow their instructions?
Okay, so now we have that the lady said something. So she dug her heels in. You guys know that the internet is famous. So after she dug her heels in, the internet did its thing. Her thing came up closed, y'all.
So the question is Sweetly Seasoned closed? Let's check it. About 15 minutes ago, Sweetly Seasoned's son took to the same TikTok page that he used to get Keith Lee to come out to the food truck to let us know that they were indeed open. Sweetly Seasoned food truck may be still in business. The Instagram page is not. Back to this TikTok, Sweetly Seasoned's son has his comments turned off because he is continuing to still play with Sherelle. Just a quick refresh for those of y'all who weren't here yesterday, okay? Keith Lee goes out to Sweetly Seasoned food truck. Outside of the food truck, there is a guy cutting hair and there's a person doing braids. That is Sherelle doing the braids and her brother cutting the hair. Keith Lee told the owner of Sweetly Seasoned, I want to leave $1,000 for the barber so that he can give free haircuts. The owner of Sweetly Seasoned decided she wasn't going to turn over that $1,000 because they didn't work for Sweetly Seasoned. Remember that when Sherelle tried to get the money back, she said, listen, you can keep the $1,000 that was given for me. I just want the $1,000 for the barber who happens to be my brother. All of this got on the internet and got wild. The owner of Sweetly Seasoned took to the Instagram page that is not there anymore and doubled down on not giving the money. Now today, Sweetly Seasoned's son wants to give up the $1,000, but under the condition that Sherelle take down all of the posts on social media. He says, I want to give the money. So let's see if she does the right thing or if she does the internet thing for clout. Like, wanting that if Sherelle comes and gets the money, takes the videos down, friendship is going to be restored, all is going to be good. But if she decides to leave the videos up, he will know that it's all about clout. What is wrong with these?
You guys, sent me. Isn't that crazy? So everybody was like, but what does Keith Lee have to say about it? Don't worry, the internet has that too. The internet has that too. And here's Keith Lee's response to everything that's been happening.
To be honest, it's not much to talk about, but there are a few conflated and confused things that's going around about the situation. So let's talk about them. 3 days ago, me and my family went to Sweetly Seasoned food truck. Number one, nobody had any idea we was coming. They found out we was in Dallas, like everybody else found out we was in Dallas, because we was posting videos in Dallas. So in hopes of us coming, they had t-shirts made and they was on live all day. So me and my family wasn't in cahoots with none of this. We was all under the impression that they were a team, and this was a normal routine for them. The barber being there, the braider being there, family being there, a lot of people being there. This is our first time here. We are customers. We have no idea what's going on behind the scenes. Number two, I was never under the impression that haircuts was free. Again, my family was watching the lives. We knew that he was cutting hair for $40. So when we walked up and I said I want to get $1,000 to the barber to do free haircuts and $1,000 to the braider to braid hair, it was because in the original video, the son said it was slow due to marketing. That's marketing. God willingly, after we post the video, there will be a line out the door. If If there's a line out the door and there's a barber and a braider doing hair while people are waiting, that's marketing. So again, it's in the hood. You play some music, you cutting hair, you braiding hair, y'all all sitting out, y'all having fun. It's a parking lot barbecue. So again, we don't know the behind the scenes if they knew each other, if they didn't know each other. And the reason why I didn't pay everybody individually, the interaction that you see looked longer than what it was. It was really only like a 5-minute interaction. But then at 5 minutes, 30 to 40 people pulled up. They was pulling up in droves. That parking lot was getting deep fast. And for me and my family safety in general, I don't never carry cash around. And 9 times out of 10, if we tip, we always do it through the POS system. And even if we wanted to do it a different way, Zelle and Apple Pay wasn't an option because it was 4 or 5 people at the same time on live. So for safety reasons, they wouldn't be able to say their phone numbers or their personal information out loud. And as far as them taking my phone and putting their number in on Zelle themselves, I wouldn't hand my personal phone to nobody. So the POS system was the option that made the most sense. I've learned through this journey that sometimes it's deeper than the food, it's deeper than the marketing, it's deeper than the customer service. And this is one of those cases in my opinion. Sweetly Season got a lot to figure out, and I thank God in advance that they do figure it out. The last thing I'm gonna touch on is the son is misconstruing something that I said, and I don't appreciate it. After I said out loud in detail what we deemed the money to be used towards, I also said y'all can divvy it out how y'all feel necessary. Meaning, after the money hits, because it's a POS system, it don't hit the same day. Y'all can send it out through Apple Pay, through Zelle, through Cash App, through check, through cash, however y'all feel necessary to spread it amongst the team. I thought and I still think that that's a very clear statement, but it's being misconstrued, in my opinion, intentionally misconstrued. That I said, and the mom and the son can say who get the money and who don't get the money.
So Keith Lee did tell her to distribute the money how she felt necessary.
I never said that. Regardless of what's going on behind the scenes, I felt on my heart to do what we did. So for the mom to go on the back end and disregard where my heart was at and what I felt like God was telling me to do in that moment and distribute the money how she felt necessary is 100% wrong in my opinion. I see the memes and I see the jokes, but I am not in the business of shutting businesses down. Her actions did not sit right with y'all and her customer base. That resulted in the situation that she in today. We just ate the food and left a tip, praying in advance that everybody in the situation stays safe. That's my biggest concern. Thank you. I appreciate y'all. God bless you. Have an amazing day. Y'all be safe.
You guys, Sebastian, had you heard about that?
This whole money thing of Keith saying to distribute the money amongst the others, except the woman didn't do that or something like that.
Yeah. Isn't that amazing? Like
And I love how social media runs quick with whatever. Whenever it's something against Keith Lee, they always go quick with it. They go quick with it.
Real quick. They were
ever since the whole Miss Burris situation. It's become like this.
That's true. Very true. Well, how are you today, Sebastian?
I'm good. I came out of the woodworks. I did a renaissance. You know, the Larger Curves platform should be very proud today. Sebastian did a renaissance.
A renaissance. Tell us what that entailed for you.
Well, school is back in session again. Sadly. But I will be managing my time better. I've come up with a plan to do everything on time.
Right.
So I can manage to come on these platforms.
Well, I appreciate you spending some time with us here today to talk about one of your favorite shows and one of my favorite shows, Real Housewives of Miami.
Period.
Yes. I haven't seen you in a while, so why don't you tell me your thoughts first? Because
this episode was lovely. This episode was important. We had to see a religious side of the show. This episode was very emotional because, like, obviously no one wants to hear that they have cancer and no one wants to deal with that. I don't wish that on my worst enemy. It was a lot, this episode. It was a lot. And the women were very calm at that religious institution. They knew to be calm and they're in a sacred church. This is a church that is very important to, especially not just Mexicans, mostly Mexicans, but also all of Latin America has something to do with Guadalupe. All of Latin America has something very special to this. Guadalupe is Mary, but it's one of the appearances. Mary, the Mother of Christ. Very important.
Right.
Very important. And I really do wish that once they left the church, And even before they did go to church, they were more proper. Because they were not. They were
Uh,
not.
uh,
One thing I do remember from Catholic school is you're not supposed to engage in relations before,
Fornication is a sin.
not fornication, also
Oh,
kissing and stuff like that. You don't do that before you go to church,
uh-huh.
nor after. You're supposed to wait 2 hours before. If you, well, luckily they didn't go to a mass, so that's the
Yeah.
thing. Actually, I'm gonna excuse this. They didn't go to a mass. They went to just to see the shrine, the shrine. Yes, the shrine of Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Guadalupe?
Yes, they
Uh-huh.
didn't go to a mass. If they went to a mass, the rules that I was saying were gonna apply, but they didn't go to a mass. A mass, for those who don't know who mass is, for people who don't know what mass is, if you're Protestant, you probably would call it a service. That's what it's called in the Protestant church, but in Catholic church, it's called mass.
Uh-huh.
Um, I think that Gertie was very vulnerable. I love how Alexia is being with Gertie this whole season. She's been
Yeah, she's been so different with not only Gertie, but with Julia too.
she's been holding on to Gertie.
Mm-hmm.
I always love Alexia, even though Curves has issues with her at times, but I love her. Um, I I admired the way Larsa held on to Gertie. I admired it.
I did too, but I can't help but feel it's fake. It's only for a moment. She's going to end up doing something else backwards. And look, the season ended and they're still not good to the point where Christian Kong Minkoff uninvited Gertie from Real Housewives of Miami. She uninvited Gertie to an event just because Larsa was going to be there.
Mm.
That just happened.
I want to say this as well. Growing up Catholic, I'll always say this: they have some of the best churches. I'm no longer Catholic, but they have some of the best, beautiful churches on this world. Some of those churches are magnificent. The architecture, the mosaics, it's huge. They're beautiful. And you just feel the way some of these women went to this church was very inappropriate. Very inappropriate. Thank God. I feel there was some of them went very inappropriate. And I'm glad that Curves has one of their names on this screen right now. Yes. I'm glad the name of the person who was very inappropriate at this church, Lisa Hochstein, who wore a corset in a church. A church. What was she thinking?
She was all, oh, I have a shawl to go over it. And still, though, I love, we were talking earlier, and I love what Gertie had on. I felt like that was very apropos. Somebody even felt like the arms out would have been too much, but I felt like
The
rest of it
arm's
was
not that
very
big of a deal,
conservative.
but like the chest and like a corset, come on.
Uh-huh. Did you see what Larsa? All Larsa did was put a jacket on, like a bib, because she had that halter top on.
Yeah. And I like that I like the veil that Gertie had on. Like she veiled. That's a very old tradition in the Catholic Church. Not a lot of people do that nowadays. A lot of Catholics don't veil. Majority don't. Majority do not. But when Gertie did that, that was just very, because people keep forgetting veiling is not just part of Islam. Veiling existed way before that. It existed during the times of Christianity and Judaism. So
Yeah.
veiling is not just part of Islam. Islam is probably the only religion that's continuously have a lot of women who do, but it's not just part of Islam. Even Orthodox Christians veil. Some parts in Africa, Ethiopia has a lot of Orthodox Christians. They veil. Egypt has a lot of Orthodox Christians. They also veil.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, those are Christianity has been there for centuries. Um, I think it's very important that when you go to another person's country and culture, you have to respect them.
Yeah.
You have to, because you are in there. The same way Americans expect foreigners to respect American cultures, the same way as Americans, we must respect the other people's culture as well.
Yeah, like don't go to their sacred forest and break their tree limbs and stuff like that. I cried too, Amy, during that scene in the church. I was sitting there blubbering like an idiot. It was
You were
so
crying?
moving. I was crying. Oh my
I don't know. Like
gosh.
I saw Twitter and stuff. Like I felt like there was a spiritual connection with that church to like our screens. It touched us.
Yeah, I was
And
sitting there crying.
didn't they play one of those Catholic chants or something while they were in there or something?
I, I don't know.
Those
I was
chants
kind
they be getting to some people. I remember a girl crying one time when I was in Catholic school because of those chants.
of, uh-huh. Well,
One
maybe
of
it
them
was
was
a
called
combination because I was definitely, yeah.
because one of those, so there's this chant in Catholicism. It's called "Here I Come, Lord." That chant will get to you. Oh God.
Well, I also liked how Gertie was willing. She was like, Alexia, let me be close to you. I want to be close because she wanted to absorb whatever Alexia could teach her in that moment. And I love that moment. It was really beautiful. And Nicole was in there crying to Julia.
I'm happy for Julia.
Whoa, I'm glad she was able to go in there. And I understand why she's had this fracture with her faith. Um,
I
yeah,
understand it too.
I can understand, but
I
I'm just praying
understand it.
for her.
I wish her the best, though.
Yeah.
I really do. I wish her the best. I wish that one day she could somehow, if there's some way to heal from that hurt that she
Mm-hmm.
has, that she
Mm-hmm.
can. But it's a wound. It will always be there.
Right, right. Sometimes I wish things were like, well, you know how fractures, when things break, that when it heals, that one specific area is usually stronger from the
Yes.
mending. That's not like kind of other like wounds that have to do with soft tissue. Sometimes they can hurt for a long time, and even that break will ache when it gets cold or hot or the barometer changes. So yeah, it takes the pain will always be there. We just have to learn to live with it, I guess. But I don't know,
Mhm.
like even though I have my whole own thing with religion per se, I'm still very like spiritual and have my whole faith intact in God. You know what I mean? Like, so I wouldn't be bothered to go into a church, but that was part of my sadness in that scene was for her too. And she was even crying. And when I saw her cry, it made me cry a little more, you guys, because it felt like her tears were more out of a why didn't you work for me crying plays. And that was sad to
Mhm.
me. Oh, oh, yeah, yeah. Because we've all had those moments where we feel like it didn't work, the prayer didn't work, and you're like, and then you just have to have faith that that's how it was supposed to be. After you are like, well, why didn't that prayer work? Why wasn't my prayer answered? And because sometimes the answer is no, but when no is the answer, we don't want that for the answer, you know. Anyway, but that was a really moving scene. I loved how all the ladies got along. I too wish that at least after the before thing, I don't know, but at least after, dude, have sit down and have a taco on a boat called Miami Mommies already. Poor Marisol is going to have to use the bathroom any minute. And unless she got one of those funnel things off of Temu for 49 cents, I don't know where she's going to go while she's on the river. So they needed to just get in the boat and have a good time. Of course, we had that scene with Lisa Stein about her settlement. So she was going around looking at all of this real estate, the most outrageous next penthouse she was looking at. But anytime somebody would ask her about finances, she'd be like, "Oh, that's about Lenny's gonna have to, Lenny's in charge of that." Kind of sounded like Ashley Darby, if you ask me. So
Don't
then,
bring Ashley into it. Do not. Ashley has not been doing anything. Leave her out of this.
Well, she's gonna have to
Retract
pay for
that
that house
statement.
on her own. She's gonna have to pay for that house on her own now that the case got dismissed against Candace. That was the exact price of that house, was $2 million. You know that, right?
Retract that statement. Take it back.
Nope,
Leave Ashley
nope. She's
alone.
gonna have to pay for it all out of her forehead.
Okay,
That's a good thing
let's
she
go
didn't
back to
divorce
Lisa.
him yet.
Let's go back to Lisa.
I'm sorry. Lisa is so irritating. She spent, how many episodes is this? 14, 13, something crazy. So many episodes talking about Lenny. It's like she has Tourette's, but all she says is Lenny. And instead of swear words, she's just like, somebody say hi, she's like, Lenny. She's crazy at this point. And I'm glad her boyfriend finally was like, look, I don't want to hear about Lenny. And now she's signing these settlement papers. I want to know, how much was the settlement for? Why is she crying like that? You knew it was going to end. Why are you crying unless it's about the money that you're not about to get? If you have things that you don't want to come out at court, because I feel like the court might be sympathetic towards a woman, but I guess in Florida, it's a whole other story. But she said he didn't want to go to court either. So don't cry.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah, totally.
I'll say this. The only reason why she doesn't want to go to court is because she might lose. Lenny probably doesn't want to go to court because he's going to have to spend a lot on attorneys. But Lisa might lose because of one main reason. Lisa's name may not be on those properties' deeds.
Mm-hmm.
Even though she was married to him.
Right.
But at the end of the day, if your name is not on the deed, so what if you're married or not? That asset is for that one individual.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least she'll get his Social Security if he dies before her.
For her babies.
Well, she can actually get it as soon as they get divorced. She's entitled to half his Social Security if he's receiving it. As long as she's not currently receiving more than that. I just found that out with my dad passing. Did you guys know that? For married couples. And even if you weren't married but have a baby by the person, if they were receiving Social Security while they're alive, you're entitled to up to half of the amount of Social Security they receive. And then once they've passed, you're entitled to their entire Social Security as the living spouse, as long as the amount does not exceed your current Social Security. So like if you're getting $2,500 and theirs is only $15,000, they won't give you that plus yours. But if theirs was $5,500 and yours was $2,500, they would take yours away and give you theirs. You see what I'm saying? So you get the more of whichever one. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So people should remember that. And you don't have to be married for it. You can just have had a baby by the person. Yep.
Continue on,
so,
Lisa.
Poor Lisa. I kind of don't even feel sorry for her, though. The way she stood up and antagonized Kiki, she's always popping off. Larsa can say the rudest shit to her, and she's like, "Oh, Larsa, whatever." And Kiki can say hello, and she's like, "Why are you talking to me?" It's just like she's so over the top with her responses and acts like everybody's doing something to her when all they're doing is protecting their ears and their peace. Lady, we're on vacation. You cried the last vacation. You don't remember this, Lisa? Last season, second to last episode, you found out you were getting divorced and your marriage was ending. And now this season, second to last episode, you're doing your settlement, hijacking the trip. It's all about you. Everybody has these cute outfits and one-liners ready to go. And you're hijacking the entire vibe. And then to hijack it further, instead of just listen to your other 8 friends on a tiny boat with poor David pushing the thing, or whatever his name was.
Oh, God.
Instead of her just sit her butt down looking like she fell out of freaking, what's the damn name? the shagalicious Austin Powers. She looked like she fell off of Austin Powers onto a boat in Mexico. I'm like, sit down already, calm down, and then throwing burritos and tacos at the dogs in the people's yards. I was like, is she being a Karen? Is this Karen behavior between the yelling at the melanated people more than you yell at the other people and the throwing burritos thinking that because of what it looks like to you, their condition is something, and you're telling us that the tacos you're throwing off a freaking gondola in the river in the middle of Mexico is the best food those dogs have ever eaten?
Oh God. Oh.
Really? I feel like that was a little Karen. That was just a little Karen. That was just like, oh, let me help the poor natives. That was very
Ooh.
white savior complex. You need to leave that shit in Miami. You and Doritos need to go to bias class or how to act around people with color class or something, because your slips are showing at this point. If you can't interact and just travel and go places and not force your freaking colonizer ways on from a boat. She was literally from a gondola trying to colonize the people's way of raising their dogs in life, you guys. I know I took it far, but that's basically what it was. And would not listen to reason. Every one of her friends was like, stop, stop, stop. I can see she was in a manic moment too because of the the whole settlement and everything, but still that's a weird way to play it out. You should really just listen to your friends, sit your Austin Powers self down, and be quiet. But no, she wouldn't sit down. And then when she addressed Kiki, she got back up. And Kiki said, please don't stand up when you're talking to me. Where I'm from, that means some stuff, and please don't do it. But Kiki was already triggered if anybody was paying attention, because here these hoes are talking about, oh, look at that shack. And Kiki happened to be like, I'm sure the people living there are very happy because me and my grandma grew up and my grandma still live in a shack just like that. And she a wonderful woman and she very happy. We don't need your pity. You know what I'm saying? Don't judge us. Don't judge people. Let the people live. So she was already triggered, I feel like, from that whole thing with Lisa, on top of Lenny, when Kiki has actually been one of the most outspoken people talking about, can we not hear about Lenny today? Can you just stop already? Can we just stop? And so she obviously doesn't have the patience for when women do this to themselves. Because just like Buffy Purcell, you're the only one bringing this stuff up. Lenny's living his best life with the little model lady who sells insurance or does Bitcoin or whatever she's doing. And
she does a lot. She's making sure
she does
that
a lot, right? And here you are on a whole show, and all you do is talk about your ex. You have a whole platform. What happened to the candles, Lisa? You could have a baby son. You could have a eyeglass line for little people because your son wears eyeglasses, Lisa. Where's that at, Lisa? You could start a line of clothes that looks like Austin Powers is coming back in style, Lisa. What about that? But no, all we hear about is Lenny, and then you steal your freaking maid's car to go try to prove a point, and you were lying about that too. She was lying about that too. It was true what I had said. I said, I bet Lenny didn't let her use the car. It had something to do with that whole thing about the car. And that's why she drove up in that Fiat that day, you guys, was because she didn't have access to the other cars, just like we said. And she was trying to act like she was telling. Lisa's a issue. She needs a break from the show. Her and Anna Grupa, or whoever that lady is, they need to go and vacation together off my screen, because can't be a healthy situation for her. If she's going to take out her aggressions on all these other ladies and waste their airtime talking about Lenny, that's really what the problem is too. The other ladies are like, I got something to say on the camera, and she keeps talking about Lenny. So she needs a timeout. Kiki was right. She did toss something at Lisa. Oh, well, yeah, I tossed it. Don't throw anything at me. That's assault. No, you're assaulting my ears, Lisa. And you just assaulted those people's yard and dogs. How do you know those dogs aren't gluten-free? How did you know those dogs weren't gluten-free and you didn't just assault their guts? Anyway, Sit down and I won't be triggered. I just told you triggered me, standing up, yelling at me like that. So whatever I do after you triggered me, if I toss something at you the way you were just tossing stuff so freely, obviously you don't have a problem with tossing unless I'm tossing stuff, Lisa. I thought we was tossing stuff on the boat. You tossing stuff on the boat? Now it's a problem, Lisa? I got your attention though. You still standing up, Lisa? Anyway. And then poor Gertie. Poor Gertie. To be vulnerable enough as any human and tell people what you need. There's a chance that you might get it. There's a chance that you might not. But the vulnerability it takes to state your need and bare yourself raw to another person and give them the option and the power of a yes or no over your need is enough. Gertie started this season saying she had cancer. I'm going to need peace and quiet. I just need you guys to be there for me. I can't be around toxicity. I can't do any negativity. I can't be stressed out. And it's like these bitches are trying to kill Gertie. It's been one thing after another. If they're not personally giving her grief, stressing her out on a personal level, they are hijacking her vibe in a room by having all this chaos and nonsense just and gets so loud to the point where first she's like, can we calm down? Nobody pays attention to Gertie. They don't give a F about Gertie, her well-being, or her feelings. They do not care that woman is having a health crisis and still choosing to come up to work every day. And that's disgusting. So, again, she's held captive on a boat. And next to Lisa the tosser of all people, with all of that energy. Can you imagine being next to Lisa after she got that news? Anyway, poor Gertie had to sit there looking beautiful, by the way. I loved her puff ponytail. Sit there next to Lisa and have that energy be in her sphere. Would not take no for an answer. And then at one point she pushed Gertie. When Gertie was trying to calm her down, she pushed Gertie. While she was mad that the lady was tossing stuff at her, she physically pushes Gertie. I'm like, really? And you can see Gertie go into herself. And it's the same thing. She puts her head in her hands. She starts kind of stretching her forehead. And then she'll look up and be like, I don't know how, maybe they'll stop. And then it doesn't stop. And it's every episode pretty much. And I think that I don't know how friendly these ladies really are to Gertie specifically, that they can't even hold it together for any of the episodes so far. Can you name, maybe there was one or two when Gertie's there that hasn't gone completely awry. But overall, that was horrible to watch. Them not give a F. And Lisa make it all about her. And then poor Julia is about to get triggered, you guys. They're about to pass one of the houses and it has babies all over the fence for Dia de la Muerta for the babies or something. And people go put babies there and it did look super duper scary, spooky. But Julia, I guess, already had her baby on her mind and just how that was horrible. Shaken baby syndrome is a horrible thing. And that those babies look damaged. I'm sure it triggered her further. Oh my gosh. So that was deep. But when she started crying, everybody's going to help her. Gertie's sitting at the other end of the thing. I don't know that anybody's helping Gertie. I'm telling you, they don't care about Gertie. This lady is crying over seeing dolls, and I know that that's a deep thing, but Gertie's sitting there crying again because you guys are infusing her energy with this negative, toxic stuff. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
100%
Stop, girl.
agree with you on everything you said. 100% agree with you. I have nothing else to say. I do feel bad for Julia, but how can I say this without sounding like a jerk? But it's not. I've never seen this baby thing ever. So I've watched other YouTube channels. Some of those creators are Mexicans on this, and they all say they have never.
He's everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looked really super freaking creepy.
but if that's what they do, let them do it.
Yeah, that energy is gonna make it grow. Yeah. Yeah, I felt for Julia too.
Lisa, Larsa, they're stressors in Gertie's life.
Oh, completely. Completely. And Lisa's the one that told Larsa, don't forget that. Lisa was told in confidence, and she ran straight to Larsa and told
No, no,
Larsa
you're saying
about.
it the other way around. Larsa was told in
Oh,
confidence.
Larsa was told in confidence, and then she ran and told Lisa, and then Lisa was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry about your thing," and yeah, but she was never sorry. She has never really acted sorry. She says things, but she doesn't do the actions behind what she says to me. Like Nicole gets in the bed with her friend. I love Nicole and Gertie, but
Nicole
Nicole knows
has
she
been.
can't control those ladies. I don't know if I would want Nicole to be more of a buffer for Gertie right now, or if I can appreciate the standalone vibe that they obviously have with each other. But I do feel like Gertie inserted herself and made herself available to Nicole that time when she was sending around those mirrors invitations. Remember, Gertie went and delivered them for her.
Nicole has been doing well with Gertie.
Mm-hmm.
Um, who else has been doing well with Gertie? Also,
And Alexia.
Alexia,
Yeah, and
Marisol,
Julia too. I don't
Julia
think
too.
Julia. I think because Julia is. I think Julia is a girl's girl all the way around, and she was getting all the girl kisses she could get too. And me and you talked earlier. I don't know. Does anybody think that Martina Navratilova minds watching her girlfriend? I mean, her wife want to kiss so many other ladies when in the replay? Do you think would that be an issue for you?
I feel like Julia. I feel like they need to stop with that. They need to stop with the constant kissing, because this is making the show become more like. This is
Notice
not
she
a
don't be
sexual
trying to kiss
show,
Alexia. She know
huh?
better than to try. She knows better than to try to kiss Alexia.
Oh,
I'm telling you,
this is
Alexia.
not a sexual show. This is not.
Mhm.
This is not the show. Miami doesn't need this to survive. Like,
Yeah, they don't
chill.
need
It's
to be
starting to give me sooner or
judged.
later. We're gonna start hearing. We're gonna start hearing a Candy 2.0 on Miami.
Yeah, we're gonna we don't need Tamara Judge and Leah McSweeney skinny dipping and popping their tits out with Sonia Morgan in
Oh
Miami.
God.
That's not
Oh
the
God.
vibe.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's not the vibe. They're already sexy. It's like, Miami's the kind of place there, yeah, it might not be a lot of clothes, but whatever you have on, it adds to the sexy. Whereas OC, they're like, oh, let's take it off to be sexy. You know what I mean?
It's
How they're always.
fire.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But so that was the episode. I liked it. I'm looking forward to what happens next week, seeing how Gertie can get off the boat. Maybe she'll jump in the river and just get to the shore and go knock on the people's door, and they'll take her to safety and nurse her back to health after being with all the mean ladies on the boat.
I
But
despise
Lisa
him.
Lisa needs an exorcism. Her and Larsa need to be separated. They're turning kind of into like the Green Eyed Bandit vibe, where they just are like terrors together. Uh, is no good deed comes from anything they're doing. It's no fun. But at least Larsa hasn't mentioned Marcus on the trip yet, which I thought was
Interesting.
not only exemplary. I was sure he was going to pop out like when in Dubai, when what's that lady's Carol's husband be popping up on jet
Oh,
skis on
Sergio.
Sergio will swim from the boat to the jet ski waiting for him at the port and then pop up on the other side. Sergio was master at popping up. Ooh wee. Oh, anyway, but that was Miami. That was Miami. Um, and Candace won. Anything else in the housewives world?
I just hope that Candace learns to not be reckless with her mouth anymore.
Oh, as far as that, like, look, it's America, freedom of speech.
Freedom of speech, but there's some consequences at times. Just make sure you say allegedly after you say what you said. Point blank, period.
Well, and it's interesting to me that it even went so far, because when Candace was literally assaulted with hands, it didn't get that far.
Well, the thing is, it's problematic to say that someone is engaging in P-tuition. It's very problematic. That's a very problematic thing.
Yeah.
So
it can be.
Say allegedly.
Maybe, you know what? I wonder if it got dismissed because in Candace's answer, she provided a written affidavit from the person she said told her so. And that was going to have to get presented at court. And once it makes it to court, then it's public.
Maybe. But I'm just saying it's problematic to do something.
It is. You're right. Some people should watch what they say, I guess.
Allegedly. Allegedly.
I don't know. All the stuff that was ever said about Candace's husband, I guess they could have sued too, is the bottom of the story.
Well, that thing is different because you can't invalidate someone. Well, and nowadays, you can't invalidate someone's feelings. Giselle didn't say that he did something. She said that he made her feel uncomfortable. And there's no way we can prove that. Do I view kissing as sexual? No, I don't. But like, y'all just came from church and y'all already getting tonguey. Like, oh God. Like, I remember when I went to church and I was dating. Like, I was like, stay away from me. I just Lord, I just
purified myself.
I just purified myself. Let me. I need to be calm.
Yeah. Well, no, you're right. In an effort to just be an overall better human, perhaps Candace can learn from this lesson that because she is Candace and she is so powerful that whatever she does say, regardless of whoever else has said it, it'll be much harsher because she's being watched more. So therefore, you should watch what you say because you're being watched more. Yeah. Because, I mean, we had already had he wanted to suck Juan's peen thing.
Yeah.
Sausage. So he didn't sue over that statement. Maybe because he didn't have to pay for it first.
Or maybe because multiple people said it.
Huh? He never admitted to saying it. And even Ashley said she doesn't remember. But he didn't have a problem with it. So, I don't know. And then paying for it. Hey, he literally got caught in a hotel room with another woman. I bet there was a transaction involved. Whether it was a don't say nothing, here's some money, or let me pay for the room, here's some money. So that's a thing where you pay for sex or pay for the appearance of sex, allegedly. I don't know. I just don't understand how he got it all the way to where it went, where she had to. Yeah, that was a long time. It's been like over a year, right?
Yeah, I feel like he only did that to make Candace's money run dry in attorney fees.
Yeah. I feel like he was trying to get that house paid for. I keep saying it.
No, he has the money for that. You don't need Candace's money to do that.
But he wanted her money for that. That's what I'm saying. He didn't need it. Just like he didn't need to sue her. It had not damaged his reputation. That's why it got dismissed. But he felt like it did. He felt like he had a chance.
I mean, as I said, no one can truly validate someone else's feelings or invalidate them either.
That's true. How do you feel about this whole Buffy Purcell thing going on? Do you feel like somebody needs to validate her feelings?
Listen, Buffy has been doing everything for clout ever since everything happened.
I agree.
And trust me, I don't agree with Dr. Jackie saying that she was infertile. Trust me, I don't agree with that statement that she did. But it's not like the world didn't know that. Buffy said that already in her confessionals way before Jackie said that to everyone.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna find out sooner or later. The
Right.
Married to Medicine cast, all of them would have found out sooner or later when they watched the episode. Y'all could chill.
Exactly. And I feel like because she had a really polarizing interview the other day where she got some people activated and some other people unfollowed. But I feel like all of her smoke is basically comes down to she does not like Jackie and felt unliked by Jackie, but wanted to be liked by Jackie and expected to be liked by Jackie, but then was then somehow let down by Jackie to where now it's 4 years later and you're still so upset by something you also, like Sebastian just pointed out, you already let the world know. So what was so shocking that the world found out from Jackie? That is what's interesting. But like everybody says, you can't tell somebody how far to throw you. I mean, I'm sorry. No,
You
you,
honestly
you
can't.
you can tell somebody how far to throw you. You can't tell them that it didn't hurt when it happened. So, but I feel like she's just bitter, super bitter. I feel like she said at one point in that interview, she said something about you can't that Jackie was so mean to her, but she had tried to get Jackie a job too. But when Jackie got in the interview, they were like, "Oh, you were referred by Buffy," and she said, "Who?" And so that's why she didn't get the job, and that was what started Buffy not liking her. And I'm like, what I would like to know is, did you ever bring it up to Jackie and was like, "Girl, you got in that meeting and didn't even know who I was," or did she just take that in as a personal assault? Because Jackie does not remember everything from everybody. Like she had only met Jackie a couple of times at that point. So
Jackie has mad patience to take care of than worry about Buffy herself.
yeah. And so that was one thing that was kind of interesting. And then she had said something about she had expected to learn from Jackie, didn't expect all this. And I'm like, you put a lot on meeting people for the first time. Like, usually you just meet somebody and you just want to say hi or get to know them. You don't have like a full on expectation of what's actually going to follow, especially as an older person, older woman. But then she said Dr. Heavenly had said something to her. Oh, she said the producers came to them and told him in Cabo San Lucas, "You're gonna fight tonight before you leave this table." That's the word she used. And so everybody knew they were supposed to get into it. They told her that she was had to bring up the Jackie statement about infertility. She said she refused, and that then Contessa turned to her and says, "I'm sorry for what I'm about to do," and brought up the infertility statement. And then she tried to play down that she said, "All I said to her was, well, you really hurt my feelings when you said that at the dinner." And she went off on me. She went off on me. And I was like, I kind of don't remember you being that soft on it. But she said that Dr. Heavenly said right then, you guys, ooh, and after what Dr. Heavenly said to Sweet Tea in that IG live, I'm like, maybe she said it, y'all. Maybe she said it because, and I love Heavenly, but um, Buffy said, Heavenly said, well, it wasn't not true. It wasn't a lie. Your uterus doesn't work, does it? And that they cut it out. And then she said that Contessa had told her at one point during the season, "Let me rock you like the babies you'll never have." And they cut it out. And yeah, I'm like, woo-wee. That's the thing. We hear about a lot of stuff over on Married to Medicine that never makes it out of the editing room. We just hear about it later. But those would have been some scenes to see if that stuff was true, you know?
If it were true, but I can't fully believe Buffy.
Me neither. She's crazy. And then she's like, and they never even offered me um psychiatric help. I'm like, because your husband a whole psychologist or psychiatrist, woman. You know they cheap. They send you guys to Savannah for your cast trip. Of course they're not gonna pay for mental health when you got a husband that can do it. I don't know. I don't know. But I feel like she re-victimizes herself by constantly playing that thing. And you are completely right. I had not had that as fuel for my why is this lady so bitter fire. But now I have even more fuel for the fire, you guys. Sebastian pointed out that Buffy had mentioned in a confessional before Dr. Jackie said it at that event and blurted out, oh, you can understand, Jackie, you're infertile too. Literally trying to connect to her because that was still hers to tell, but she had literally already told it via confessional, you guys. She just hasn't told it to that specific group of people, but they would have heard it if they watched the show. I don't know. And then she tried to say that Jackie hijacked her storyline about being infertile. I'm like, bitch, Jackie already did the story about wanting kids. Why? How is that hijacking your story? And then she was just a lot of full of herself, and I was like, really, Miss Dugan? Hey, what's good? So good to see you. We were just wrapping up Miami. So glad the Kirby's came through. The streets of YouTube were looking a little slow, and I had promised Sebastian that we could go live about Miami. And we just did, but here, before we leave, let me share this with you. I'm super duper excited that this just happened. Did it share? Let's see. Can you guys see that? You see what that says? Look, New York secured 183 million in compensation for Holocaust victims and their heirs. Hate has no home in New York, and her administration is committed to uplifting survivors and their family while honoring the memory of the 6 million lives taken far too soon. And look, that was done a couple of days right before Black History Month. And what I'd like to say is welcome to Black History Month, where no, we haven't got that shit yet. But let's let Amanda Seales close us out with her thoughts. Because I was like, Amanda. And then I have a meeting to go to. So let's let.
City has secured over 183 million in compensation for Holocaust victims and their heirs. So the centuries of slavery, the subsequent Jim Crow apartheid that took place, as well as the current prison industrial crisis, etc., for Black people who are actually from here, and acts that were committed by here. You ain't got no securing of compensation for us. One of y'all favorite arguments for why Black people shouldn't get reparations is, I mean, we didn't even do it. It was our ancestors. The Holocaust didn't even take place in the United States. What are we talking about? Happy Black History Month.
So, yes, it's the third day of Black History Month. So when you stop at a traffic light, shout out. When you use your computer, shout out. When you use the your eat a potato chip, shout out. Yeah, so all the things. I'll be posting some things throughout the shortest month of the year about Black History Month. And I don't even like calling it Black History Month. Stop making me a color in a crayon box. African American History Month, because we are American and we are part of American history. So shout out to African American History Month, y'all. And I love you guys. Thanks for bearing with me today. Thanks for being you. Thanks for coming through. And yes, right on. Yeah, I love Amanda Sills. Yes. And you guys go out, be great, shine bright. There's enough to go around. Smash the like button, smash the subscribe button, and ring my bell so you can get notified when we upload another video. See you. Have a great day, curvies. See you in the